Welcome to Kings Park, Latrobe. Nicely set out, formal little area for people to play in, but we're going up the back into the bush, hopefully to find some wildlife. This part of the park's well paved, ideal for wheelchairs. Not sure about up the back, we'll see when we get there. Nicely made decorative bridge. Of course, there's water, so there's ducks. And over the bridge. Given a choice, we'll go up the hill onto the rougher path. Reasonably steep, and off we go. Never good for the cat lovers. Feral and straying domestic cats are prohibited in this council reserve. I don't know how you stop them coming in, but anyway. They have continual trapping systems, and feral cats are humanely destroyed. We'll be unlikely to see any feral cats, they're very furtive, but we will keep our eye out. Very slow moving waters off to the right. We head up and around to the left. And as I thought, no longer wheelchair safe. Not sure if you can see him in there, but just to the left of the tree with the fork in it is our first wildlife. Well, apart from the ducks, a wallaby, staring very intently back at me. Might be a better view of him. Just above the sort of the Y shape in the fallen sticks there. See wildlife this soon in the walk. Now hit those stairs, which are too wide for individual paces. They're not good for the knees, but there you go. And we have a choice here. We can wander off to the right, or, funnily enough, off to the left, and we'll take the left path. Take the left because I think it winds back and we end up coming back in through that right path. It just seemed right to go left. Nice, calm, quiet spot. Can still hear the road noises from here, but also a lot of the bird song. Not sure if we're picking that up. A lot of fallen trees and timber, just recycling back into the soil in their own time. Sort of enchanted forest walk where you might come across anything. Hiding behind that cross post there is another wallaby. See if we can get in and get a closer shot of him. Nope, he took off. So we'll keep our eyes and ears open for more of them. So I'm sure they're about. And there's another one looking back at us. I'm not sure if you can pick that up right in the middle of the screen. They're interesting little beasties. This must be a fairly safe spot for them. Thinking about making a move. I might move in so you can see him move. There you go. Lots of dead timber here for some reason. I guess that's just the way nature recycles stuff. Come to a little bit of a crest, and then we wander downhill for a bit. We'll just keep our ears open and move quietly. So I suspect we will see yet more wallaby. And you can see there through the trees just how close we are to civilization. And yet there's wallabies abounding. And we do have the breeze coming from our left, which might be giving them our scent before we see them. So we'll just wait and see. In these sections where you're actually going through the sunlight, it's quite warm this morning, but then it is late November. More fallen material. We'll skirt around that and keep going. I think it turns in about 60 metres. Now here's a deceased old tree. Lots of possibilities for causing damage. You can see that branch up there is broken off and is falling across, and the tree just keeps on going. So we'll skirt past that fairly quickly. Not that there's any breeze today, but sometimes they just drop because they can. I have heard visitors to this country say everything can try and kill you. Yep, even the trees some days. We do seem to be coming to an end of the track here, which I think turns right and goes back up the hill. I hope so anyway. And indeed it does. So we swing round. We will go up. Now there's a sign I've never seen anywhere before, but I'll bear it in mind. And of course we've been coming downhill slightly, so it's back up the steep parts. You see what I mean by trees just collapsing, and why the sign warns of natural hazards. Rather nice to be back in the shade on Wallaby watch. Of exposed stonework here. Well, not stonework, just natural stone outcroppings. Keep your wits about you. It's a thing people could trip over. Another little false crest. And too much sunlight. But we'll keep our eyes out and keep moving. If you're going to do this walk, or any of the others really, early morning, I mean it's not even, it's just after 9, so it's 8 o'clock by the sun, because we're on daylight saving. If you're perhaps an hour earlier, you'd see a lot more wallabies. They being feeding at dawn and dusk. But you've got to look through the bush, not at it, if you want to see them. There's a lot less bird song up higher on the higher path, which surprises me. You can see how neatly that grass has been cropped, which is a sign of wallabies and possibly even rabbits, but definitely wallaby. And the path continues ever upwards and to an even steeper grade, so we'll take our time going up that. Getting close. We're also starting to hear some fellow humans, which is always a surprise. Feels like a peak or a crest, but I suspect we'll be climbing even higher as we go further along. There's a view down the hill. Can't quite see the bottom track down there, but it is fairly steep. And yes, it was a false crest. Nice little down dip, and we'll be back onto the hill climb. And I was right. We did drive, at least this one, up to the top. See him looking back at us? Or is he looking away? He's looking away. No, I was wrong. I was right to start with. He's got eyeballs on us. I can't get any closer without running them off. There you go. He's thinking he's safe to move. And here comes another one off to the right. There he goes. And they're both meeting down there behind that cover. There he is. There were 4 of them then. I just wasn't quick enough with the camera. But that was quite a wallaby heaven. Go on, off you go. No one's going to hurt you here. We might make a movement to our left along the path. See if we can flush the others out for the film. There he is, still in there. Move on a little bit. Always, of course. No, lost them. Always, of course, keeping our eyes open for snakes. Not going to see this bird at this time of day. Southern boobook. It's an owl, obviously. They do tend to love, well, I've found them in rural areas. They must also like forests. And further up the hill. Coming up to a decision point. Apparently there's tracks off to the left and the right. So we'll have a look when we get there. But of course it keeps getting steeper. I just feel like we're getting close to another crest. I do hope it's the final one. And indeed it is not. I hope we all spotted that fella. Juvenile wallaby. Very wee. See how close we can get before he takes off. Best shot yet. There he goes. It's nice of them to jump into shot while I'm recording. Slide uphill here. Well, slight. Don't appear to be any slight uphills on this walk. Upward, ever upward. Although I do see signs of suburbia at the end. And some very tiny flowers here. There's the hand for context. They are very attractive little yellow flowers. You can see the edge of a water tank there as we approach the edge of the bush. Yep, definitely a water tank, probably part of the water supply for Latrobe. Dying trees are part of the cycle of a forest. There's some big ones here. Some very healthy firewood if you can get hold of it. Okay, so we can either travel along the edge of suburbia, off that way, which I don't particularly want to do. We can head the other way, but there's a reason not to go that way. My most least favourite animal. So I'll backtrack and hopefully the wallaby will be back out. I did see a track off to the left going down. That should get us back to the car park. So we'll just leave the camera on record and work our way back slowly in the hope that we'll see some more of the small macropods, which are always a joy to behold. I'm not sure how long it takes them to feel they're safe to come back to where they were, but we'll see. Very gentle downhill. Not too bad on the knees or the quads. And there we go. I think that's the little fella we saw on the way up. So, feeling perfectly safe. Hello. No response. Whoop. Okay, and then a bird. Well, we'll keep moving. See you, little fella. They are fairly obviously not predated upon very heavily, or at all by humans, I suspect. Although you can get wallaby meat in the supermarkets. Highly recommended, very, very rich. I have to break it down, half beef, half wallaby. It's too rich for me. Yeah, I don't know if we got that one. It's a bigger one, hopping up the back. Where'd you go? Ah, go on. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of editing with this longer shot. Well, that's okay. Be worth it to get the little fellas. Bird song again. Mind the step. And we will head back down there. And here's another one of those markers telling you about the birds. I haven't heard any cuckoos today. Nearly always hear them before rain arriving, which isn't due until much later today. This is starting to look a lot steeper, but we'll leave the camera on and keep our eye out for our macropods. Hope you're picking up that bird song. And even going down, there's another uphill section. Hooray! Coming to some steps, which is always a sign of civilization. Steps but no railings, this will be fun. There's another shot of Latrobe peeking out through the scrub. And we can continue our descent. Thankfully under a bit of cloud cover now. Where we come to more turning point choices. That was where we made our first choice, I believe, or close to it. Don't know if you can see them there, see him there, but there's a little one right in the middle of the screen. Looks like he might be the same juvenile we saw up the top. Worked his way down to be trying to be a YouTube star. Let's see if we can get another angle from the other side of those trees. There he is, we're further away now, but he hasn't moved. Quite keen on being on the telly. Down some more stairs. Now then, there's another one. Just in there near the tree. See, nibbling around. That's a bigger one. Did bump into someone on the track who suggested that there's not much feed here for them. They go down and mow the lawns in Latrobe at night. But there's a lot of them here. There's another one up there. So we got this fella there. And that one up there. Trouble is they don't move once they see people very often, unless you're backing off or running towards them. I'm not going in through the scrub there. And we'll travel with the record on just in case. Yep. There's one in there. Big one. By Wallaby standards. Doesn't know we're here. Quietly grazing away. Nice to catch him unawares. Wallabies at feed. And he just spotted me and took off. You can see quite a sizable beast for a wallaby. Nice long tail. Big ears for hearing things. She heard me crunching on the pathway, was what alerted to him. Just took off. So I've backtracked a bit. And here we be. That we might leave them in peace. Well now. Hello little fella. Another big one. Hello. Fine looking specimen. It's about as close as we've been all day, I reckon. So 10, maybe 15 metres. Standing about 40-45 centimetres high. You can see they're breathing a bit quick, clearly stressed. So we'll move on. And shot. Even the old imported pine trees do tend to drop a lot of branches from time to time. Now for some reason I've ended up somewhere I didn't expect to be. That's what happens when you follow wildlife, I guess. Your dog must remain on leash, and if your dog does a poo, put it in our dog poo loo. And we have ended up back at that creek we crossed earlier, but I'm not sure how far we are from Kings Park. Find out when I get on the main road. Very gently flowing stream. We have come quite a way to the east. We will work our way into town and then down to the car park. Here we are on the main drag. We've got quite a walk ahead of us. We don't get here often, but it's well worth the trip. Carry gold. Oh, we came out of the scrub 2 blocks that way. And here's Kings Park where we left the car. Okay, so who's this walk for? Anyone physically fit enough for it, obviously. And anyone who's interested in spotting wallabies in the wild. We're going to have a lot of fun editing this one.